Yo, welcome back to the Jim McKee Podcast 216. You already know how we start. We start off by thanking God for all He has done for me and what He will continue to do for me, but not only me, my family, and friends, and those who I don't even know. Happy Tuesday. I was supposed to post this on Monday, but I didn't. But the positive in it is that I'm on here today and I'm posting the episode. I'm working on being consistent. I'm working on showing up on time. I'm working on it. Every day is a process, but as long as I don't give up, that's all that matters. You listen to this, we are blessed. Somebody, somewhere, they didn't wake up today. But for many of us who have the luxury of listening to this, we did. So that should account for something. We should take a moment and just thank God for that. So many people who didn't wake up, but we did. So we're going to get into the episode, but before we get into the episode, you know how we start. We start off with a scripture, and today's scripture is going to be, give me 1 second here, the scripture of today. Bear with me, guys. And it comes from Psalms. Be strong. Give me a second. Okay, there we go. This comes from Psalms, verse 31, chapter 24, and it says, "Be strong, be courageous. Be strong, be courageous. All you." What does that say? Okay. Excuse me, God. Be strong, be courageous, all you that hope in the Lord. All of you that hope in the Lord. Be strong, be courageous, all of you that hope in the Lord. Whatever that means to you, think about it, sink in, let it sink in. I'm going to just say real quick what it means to me. Be strong, be courageous, and all the hope in the Lord. Put all your hope in the baby. Be strong, be courageous, and put all your hope into the Lord. Whatever that means to you. I always start off with the scripture today. All right, let's get into it. And today's episode is focus on what you can control. Think about it. Focus on what you can control. And let's talk about it. For many of us, including myself, I always like to include myself, we tend to focus on things that we can't control. Before I get into talking about it, let's see what the internet says about it. And it talks about what's in your control. So much of our attention is often given to those things out of our control. The reason for this lies in our inborn desire to control the world around us. We want to control other people in our environments in an attempt to generate security in our lives. Interesting point. That's what they say. And you know how I always give y'all my perspective. A lot of times we try to focus on things that are not in our control. Right? And how does that happen? I'll give you an example. Always use me. I remember I was always, like for Christmas, I was always giving gifts. I was always, generous, cards, birthdays, whatever it was. And I remember giving people gifts, but I never got anything in return. So I was mad. So what I start doing, I'm like, you know what? I'm not giving nobody no more gifts. Because they ain't giving me no gifts. And I remember going to my grandmother. I remember having a conversation about it. And she was like, I hear you, but she's like, the only thing you can focus on is being you. That's who you are. That's what you want to do. Is what you do. Don't expect anything in return. Focus on that. Focus on what you can control, and that's you giving the gifts and you being kind coming from your heart. You can't focus on the other people and what they doing, what they not doing. I hear you, but don't worry about that. Just always just continue just to be you. I remember her telling me that. And for a lot of my life, I've always focused on things I can't control. out of my life. And it always made me upset because I couldn't control it. Like I can't control that my mom was on drugs for many years, and I wanted her to get well, but she wasn't ready yet. And I would have conversations with her, and she still ended up back out on the street. I couldn't control that. Did I have a right to be mad? Yes, but I allowed it to consume me, and it wasn't cool. It wasn't right, But I did have a right to be mad for a brief moment or maybe a couple of weeks, and then move past it and let God handle those people. So, anytime I didn't understand something or anytime I couldn't control it, I was always angry. Always angry and always trying to figure out, like, dang. There's a serenity experience. They say God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, right? So in other words, what I get from that is I accept that I can't control this, and the wisdom to know the difference. I'll put my own spin on it. So it's not within my control, but a lot of times when things are not in our control, we find ourselves getting mad, frustrated, same difference, or bent out of shape, aggravated, yelling, screaming, all different types of emotions, because we're like, what's up? Like, it's not up to you. It is not up to you. It is not up to you. Excuse the background noise. I'm washing clothes. You know how real I get. It's not up to you. It's not up to you to make a person see what you're trying to say. That's not within your control. The only thing that's within your control is what you are saying to them. That's what's in your control. You can't control how they receive it, how they accept it, whether they agree with it, whether they not agree with it. I talked about this in my therapy session. My therapist told me this. That's why I'm sharing it. Somebody need to hear this. And I'm like, focus on you. Focus on what you can control. You can control you being a good father. You can control you being a good husband, a good brother, a good friend. You can control that. You can focus on that versus trying to change people. You'll lose your fucking mind. Excuse my French, but you will. You lose your mind. And you'll always find yourself frustrated because you're thinking that you can control it, but you cannot. Focus on you. Focus on you at the end of the day. Focus on the thing that's within your realm. You can control how you respond to situations. Whether you agree with it or not, you can control that. But you cannot control the fact that somebody else may not agree with you, now they hooping and hollering. But my grandmother always told me it takes two. So you can control the fact that if you want to argue with them or not, or if you do want to engage in it or not. I'm just being real. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to look at things like that, but it's frustrating. It is. It's very frustrating because you're thinking in your mind, hey, I'm going to talk to this person. I'm going to let them know how I feel, whether it's your mother, whether it's your husband, your wife, your significant other, whatever they mean to you. In your mind, you're thinking, hey, I'm going to come to them and tell them how I feel. And that's right. You should always tell a person how you feel. Never apologize for that. But once you say what's in your control of the situation, back up, pray about it, and let God work. And that's the most hardest thing to do. That's the hardest thing to do, is to really pray about something and let God work. That is it. Because in the flesh, we like, what's up? Like, I prayed that prayer 2 weeks ago, or a couple of days ago. We think it's supposed to happen like that. But it won't. It won't always happen in the way that we anticipate it to happen. You feel me? Like, it always gonna work like that. And then a lot of times we get mad. We, all of us, including myself, we get, we're immature. We get mad. We get frustrated. Whatever, man. They gonna act like this. Never let a person change who you are. Or never let them dictate who you are. Still be who you are. Whether you feel that they understand you or you feel that they're right, you can't control that. But again, you should always be able to express how you feel. How you feel. How you feel, man. I can tell you kinds of stories, man. I remember this one time I was, I was in a situation where I had to go. Well, I was staying with somebody, and I was staying there, and they decided for whatever reason they wanted me gone, right? And I remember staying there, and I'm like, damn, you know what I'm saying? I was doing everything right, but then I was mad. But that wasn't in my control, because that was their house, their personal space, a spot where I was living at, contributing to the bills and stuff. But they decided they no longer wanted me there, and rather than just accept that and just leave, I'm like, how they gonna do me like that? We're supposed to be family, and all this blah 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 blah. But they have a right to say that. It wasn't in my control. I never knew when I was going to get kicked out or what it was going to happen. You know what I'm saying? I just thought that if I did everything right, which I did, if I contributed everything, which I did, that I was able to stay there until I was able to get on my feet. But it was the other way around. They just talked to me and they just told me, hey, Keelan, we love you. We just feel like it's just too many people here and they're just a little bit overcrowded. We just, we need you to leave. And I was mad, but I had to understand. Listen to what I'm saying. I had to understand that is not within my control. Now I'm in a situation where I have my own house, my own family. I am in control, whether we are in control, and myself are in control, rather if we want to leave and get another house or stay at this house. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm not in a situation where somebody could just say, hey, you got to leave. No, we going to leave together. You get what I'm saying? So we've all been there. And I just want y'all to know that it's okay. It's okay. And it's okay to be frustrated, but we have to stop being so consumed by our own emotions. That's what we need to work on. We're so consumed by our own emotions that we don't see anything else. We don't want to see anything else. We only want to see what we want to see and nothing else. You know what I'm saying? You just have to pray, man. You just have to pray and ask God to lead you where He wants you to lead you. Ask God what you should focus on. Focus on God. You know what I'm saying? And maybe just pray about it. Everything you should bring into prayer to God, and slowly but surely things will work in their favor. But in the midst of it, like I said, I'm going to say it again, it's hard. It's very difficult. It is very difficult. But I'm here to tell you that it's hope. It's hope. You just have to really surround yourself around good people, God-fearing people, even if they're not God-fearing people, good people. That is going to always steer you in the right direction. If it's therapy, go to therapy. If it's counseling, go to counseling. If it's a good friend, it's a good friend. Whatever. You need somebody to really keep you level-headed and talk to and give you a different perspective. Because before I went to therapy, I never thought of it like that. You know what I'm saying? And I said, you know what? Okay, I'm going to work on that. Only thing I can control is me. That's it. And the only thing you can control is yourself. Let that sink in, man. Let that sink in, man. Let it sink in, man. We spend our whole time mad at our kids because they don't listen. Trust me, if anybody don't understand that, I understand that. But what's in my control? What's in my control is the fact that I can put them on punishment. I can take their cell phones away. I can take the technology away. I can take the privileges away. I can take all of that away. But I can do all of that and they can decide to still misbehave. I can't control their behavior, but I can try to monitor it and try to control it in some type of way. But it's, in some cases, like I'm trying to explain, it's not within my control. My sons are in therapy themselves, you know what I'm saying? They're doing different things. So it's like, so we're just going to spend your time mad because you can't control your kids? That was me. I understand. Redirect, correct, keep doing it, reassuring. Just keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? It is hard, bro. It's hard. And I'm talking to that person right now who is mad at somebody right now. You know why? You was mad because when you were down on your luck, you looked out for somebody and you gave them $1,000. But when you were down on your luck, when you were down on your luck, you needed $1,000 and nobody would give it to you. But when the same person needed it, you gave it to them. But now you need it and you can't get it. Come on, I'm talking to y'all right now. Y'all mad. It's not in your control. You can't control that. But you can control the fact that what you did was a good deed. You did it from your heart. Because you didn't want nobody to go without or whatever they needed it for. Whatever they needed it for. Bills or whatever. But then now you need it, nobody ain't got it. Nobody got you. So you frustrated. You like, ain't that's how they gonna do me? I get it. I've been there. But it's not in your control. Let it go. You learn from it, you walk away from it, but then you know how to move. You know how to move. But I'd be lying if I told you that nobody shouldn't have to feel a certain type of way about that. You hear what I'm saying? Like, I'm talking to the person right now, when they needed money for their light bill, nobody had it. But when they needed it, you was there. You told them you ain't had to pay them back. Come on, I'm talking to somebody right now. I'm talking. It's okay. It's okay. Focus on yourself, self-healing, whatever you need to do. Focus on that. And I'm telling you, and I just started this. I honestly feel a lot better because my mind is not focused on the things that I can't control. Life. You get what I'm saying? Like, I remember I was mad because, I'll never forget this. I was mad I had my car. I was mad because out of nowhere my car just went down. So I had no means of transportation. I was trying to figure out how to get around, blah, 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 right? So now I'm mad. And it was I couldn't control when the car was going to go down. Check engine light wasn't on at the time. So I got an oil change regularly. But why am I so bent out of shape? Come on. I'm mad. I'm getting to the point where I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to get to work. I got to catch the bus to work. I'm mad. I'm so mad. And I'm coming home, I'm slamming doors, because now I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get to work. True enough, I caught the bus, but I didn't want to. I figured it out. About a week or so later, I was able to get the car fixed, you know what I'm saying, et cetera, et cetera. Stuff like that. It happens. It's life. It's going to happen. Sometimes unforeseen circumstances happen. And that's okay. We have to learn how to maneuver around it. Sometimes we spend our whole day mad about something that we couldn't even control or we didn't know was going to happen. We didn't know. I'll give you an example. I remember this one time I was at work. We was at work and the lights went off. I was mad. It was cold in there and stuff. They tried to keep us in there. I'm looking like, in my head, I'm looking like, send us home. The lights are out. Why are you trying to keep us here? But why am I so asphyxiated on that? It happened. It's okay. It's okay to be frustrated for a brief moment, maybe 20 minutes, and then let it go. I'm like, Then we finally got to go home. But in my head, I'm like, we should have been home. We should have been home. But we had no control over that. We didn't know they was going to go out. We didn't know it was going to come in and had no electricity. You feel me? Like, you know what I'm saying? But our mind always takes us back to that. And that's okay. But I just want to say thank each and every one of y'all who really takes the time out to listen to my podcast. I really appreciate y'all. None of this, none of this would be possible without y'all. Y'all keep me motivated and solid and wanting to keep pushing towards my goal. And I appreciate it. If you got any questions, I could be reached at Keelan_kid on Instagram, Facebook, Keelan Adaris Kid. My podcast, I'm on all platforms. My podcast, I'm available on all platforms. Wherever you get your podcast. You got any questions, let me know. Maybe you guys been in similar situations. Maybe y'all can relate. Maybe y'all can't relate. But you just want to talk about what next episode y'all want to talk about. Maybe I haven't been through it, but we could definitely talk about it. How does that sound? You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate y'all, man. I really do, man. And I just want to encourage somebody out there right now that whatever your dream is, whatever you want to do, don't give up. There's always hope. Put God first in whatever you do. And I promise you that things will get better. Thank y'all for listening to the Genuine Kid Podcast 216. I'll see y'all. See y'all later.